Planning Commission members with the personal or financial interest in any petitioner's request are required to recuse themselves. The members on the commission tonight present are Jerome Moore, Ann Clemens, Buddy Hardwick, Cruz Reeves, Patrick Moss, Kippy Tate, and myself, James Reed. The members of the land use staff are Tommy Tyson, James Center, Tanya Ingram, and Adina Kramer. Members and petitioners are requested to please speak directly into the microphone. The minutes are recorded for legal purposes, and this is the only way to accurately pick up the audio. Tonight we have 7 members present, and it takes 5 votes to pass a motion. Because of the number of board members present, if you would like to delay your request, please let us know when your request is announced. Is there any changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
Good. We've all had a chance to review the minutes. Are there any questions, comments?
I do. Apparently nobody's proofreading these minutes. It says on here that Buddy Hardwick's chairman and James Reed's vice chair. And,
living in the past, aren't we?
And on item 9, it's redundant on the for a development plan. That's it.
So can we get corrections on those items?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll dispense of reading of the minutes. Is there a motion in order?
Motion to approve, subject to the corrections that Cruz had.
Second.
The motion has been made and second to approve the minutes with the corrections to be done. All those in favor? Those opposed? All right. Mr. Tyson, could you please give us the first item on the agenda?
First item is by ECE Survey and Design, LLC, on behalf of Dickerman Sanford. It's a request for final approval of Sanford Plat Number 1 on the northeast corner of Wares Ferry Road and Mitchell Avenue. It's a R100 zoning district.
Is there no one here to represent?
Go on to the next one.
All right, we'll go to number 2.
McBride Dale Clarion, on behalf of Speedway, is a public hearing for development plan for a new building located at the southwest corner of Atlanta Highway and the eastern access road to Eastdale Circle. It's a B5 district.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Woker. I'm a planner with McBride Dale Clarion representing Speedway.
Your address? Please.
Yes, sir. It's McBride Dale Clarion, 5721 Dragon Way, Suite 300, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45227. And as I mentioned, I'm a planner representing Speedway on this application, and we are requesting development plan approval for a 1.65 acre parcel to build a convenience store. It would be a 4,600 square foot store, and we would have 10 fuel dispenser islands in front of the store. We have received staff comments and don't have any objections to the comments received to date. I will note that on the plan that's currently up on the screen right here, we have been unable to secure approval for the cross-access easement that's shown to the west, so that would be the left side of the screen there next to the dumpster, so we will not be building that cross-access. Otherwise, our plans are as presented. So I will try and answer questions if you have them.
Is there any questions from members of the board?
You got a right out coming out onto the Atlanta Highway, is that correct?
It would be a
right only?
Right in, right out.
Right, yeah, right in off the Atlanta Highway to the location, and then right out only
That's correct. Right in and right out. There's a median in front of us
Right.
there.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board members?
Thank you.
Wait a minute. Are there any questions from members of the audience? Comments? All right, since this is a development plan, there's no vote necessary. Good luck on your
Thank you
project.
for your time.
Next item by Jeff Code Engineers and Surveyors, LLC, on behalf of Riva Ermails, request final approval of Riva Ermails Plat Number 1 on the north side of Adams Avenue, 144 feet west of Hall Street. It's a M1 district.
Good afternoon, Steve Hughes with Jeff Code Engineers and Surveyors, and we are asking for final approval of the Riva Ermails Plat Number 1.
Are there any questions from the board members? Comments?
One question. You've had a vacant industrial building right there adjacent to this property for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. What are they going to build on it?
And on the lot that says not part of plat,
Yeah, well, let's see. Yes.
at the,
Yeah.
that is not part of our plat, and the building's still in place, so I'm not sure what they're going to do with that parcel.
Now, what are you going to do with yours?
We have a pending DP right now, and it's going to be a mini storage facility, parking in the front and multiple size rentable.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board members? Are there any questions or comments from members of the audience? All right, a motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
The motion been made to approve and second. All those in favor? Those disapproved?
The next item by Jeff Code Engineers and Surveyors, LLC, on behalf of Calvin and Shonda Perkins, request final approval of Perkins Plat Number 2 on the west side of Church Street, 1,573 feet south of McLean School Road in the Ag 1 district.
Steve Hughes with Jeff Code Engineers and Surveyors. We are asking for final approval of the Perkins Plat Number 2.
Steve, let me ask you a question. I tried to find this on all the maps I had, looked up, could not find Adams Road, Windsong, Parla, McGee. Where the heck is this piece of property?
If you go south of McLean, almost the western part of the county, and east of 331 and 31, I'm sorry, west of 31 and 331, that's where it is, kind of nestled down there.
Well, I knew I couldn't find it, so I couldn't go see it. So.
Now, if you put in Church Street, Montgomery, Alabama, it will not pull it up. If you put in Church Street, Hope Hole, Alabama,
None of these are on the city map, you know. So I don't know how many other folks admit the truth.
Excuse me?
I don't know how many other folks would admit the truth to that, but I got a feeling nobody's seen this. Okay.
I saw it.
Yeah, I
I
see.
went
saw
out
it?
there. I went
Well,
out
I should have called you, Cruz. I should have known you'd find it.
It's at the end of a dead end.
Yes,
something
it is.
that, right?
Okay. Thank you.
And McLean School Road runs off of East McLean. Right where the map shows it.
I got a map.
There's a
You're not
map on
gonna
your
find
paper.
it.
Are there any other questions?
I
from
got
the
a
members?
question. That's such a small lot. What they gonna do for a septic system?
We've actually already designed a septic system, and it's been approved by the health department. It's relatively, you wouldn't think so for Montgomery County, but it's not bad soil down there.
Okay.
Have you had any comment, pros and cons from the subdivision, since it's not within the subdivision?
It's family land. They have no additional land around it. It's been passed down, and as you can see, there are multiple lots down there that are substandard to the Ag 1 that are developed and undeveloped, probably with 50 within a quarter-mile radius.
Any other questions, comments from the board members? Are there any questions, comments from the audience? All right, a motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion is made to approve and second. All those in favor? Those opposed? All right, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Next item by Flowers and White Engineering on behalf of Park Place Partners LLC, requesting final approval of Windhurst Plat Number 2C on the northeast corner of Fane Park Drive and Fane Park Loop in a PUD district.
Good evening. I'm Kenneth White Jr., Flowers and White, representing Park Place Partners LLC. This is simply a residential lot in the newly PUD zoning we had right here in the Windhurst subdivision. This lot was inadvertently left off the last plat, and we're just adding it to the subdivision.
Question, comment from the board members?
Kenneth, did the PUD reflect that it was going to be residential use?
Yes.
Okay.
All residential use. I'll take that back. There was a little office in the very first lot, but the rest of it was residential.
Is there any question, comments from the members of the audience? All right, a motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion been made to approve. All those in favor? Those opposed? Good luck.
Next item by Flowers and White Engineering on behalf of Hampstead LLC, request final approval of Hampstead Plat Number 25C on the northeast corner of Portman Street and Grassmere Street in a T4O and T4R Smart Code districts.
Again, I'm Kenneth White, Jr. with Flowers and White, representing Hampstead LLC. This is a plat of, it's a replat of it as one existing lot, which is right here, and 3 new lots of unplatted land. That's pretty much it. Same uses, Hampstead. All the laterals are in for the lots already. I can entertain any questions. Should you have any?
Are there any questions from the audience? All right, a motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion to approve has been made and second. All those in favor?
The next item is presented by Larry Speaks and Associates on behalf of Hughes Retail Development. It's a public hearing for development plan for new building at 1140 Lagoon Business Loop. It's a M1 district.
Stephen Speaks with Larry Speaks and Associates. Hughes Development proposes to construct a retail space building on the Eastern Boulevard. One adjustment that was made from the site plan that was submitted, the driveway entrance has been shifted up, so it's all on the lot. But
Say that again. Say that again, Ken. I'm sorry
sorry.
I missed that. Say what you just said.
The adjustment.
The adjustment, the building was shifted north up
Okay.
on the lot, so that the drive is all on
Gotcha.
the parcel. That's
Gotcha.
what it amounts to. Basically, they're developing the front half of the lot. That lot goes all the way through. It's double frontage. They've still got property in the rear they could develop later if they so choose.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of exterior is it? Is it brick or is it metal? Or is it,
The side fronting the boulevard is brick, and it's got some awnings out front. It's hard to see from where you are, but there's some awnings along the front, and then metal around the backside, the sides and the rear.
roll-up doors in the back or just pedestrian doors?
Pedestrian.
Okay, so more of a retail use. Are they planning on dividing it as shown or just whatever size necessary?
They've got bays dashed in, So you could have them combined, but right now they're just showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bays is what they're showing.
Are they going to occupy any, or is this just investment?
Just investment.
Okay, good.
Your drawing's a little different from ours.
I'm sorry?
Our drawing shows access from the adjoining property.
There's an existing shared driveway, Mr. Reeves, that comes in and then turns left into the existing facility next door.
Correct.
The original site plan showed a shared drive coming down the property line. They've since shifted that up. They were going to have to go through a bunch of easements, so they decided not to do that. They've just shifted their drive, so it's all on them. So they'll still share the entrance off the Boulevard Service Road, but they'll have their own driveway that wraps around the back of the building.
So your drawing is correct and ours is not.
It got changed after we submitted, yes, sir.
I wonder why we didn't get that changed, is my point.
Well, the change occurred here within the last week, and I think they'd already published this.
We could have had that tonight.
I'm sorry?
Never mind.
So I think the appropriate thing to do here, Mr. Chairman, is actually use his drawing that we're approving, not the one that we have in our packet.
It's a development plan.
Oh, yeah, it's a DP, that's right, doesn't matter.
Got time.
No ma, not this time, it doesn't matter.
Any other questions? Are there any questions from the audience? Comments? Sir, since this is a development plan, there is no vote, and you've held a public hearing.
All right, thank you, sir.
Good luck. Larry
Speaks and Associates, next one on Lions Pride Market Incorporated. It's a public hearing for development plan for a new building at 1061 Eastern Boulevard in a B2 district.
This is a convenience store, Lions Pride Market. They're proposing to demo the existing structure and come back with a new building. It's at the corner of Monticello and the Boulevard at that traffic signal. We have been in discussions with the city engineer. The city engineer came back and have required us to put in a right-in, right-out on Monticello Drive, which we are showing here on this plan. The DOT has come back and wants us to confine our entrance to the service road to one entrance. It was originally proposed just to retain the existing entrances, but they've made us make some adjustments, which is shown on this development plan.
Where's the right in, right out?
Right here.
On the service road?
Kippy, it may be hard to see on your, that's a bad copy. I got the same copy. There's an existing drive there that's really wide, Kippy, maybe 30, 40 foot wide. We're going to shrink it down to 25 foot wide and put a right in, right out.
So the right in, right out is coming off of their property on the Monticello.
You got it, exactly.
Okay.
You got it. So we're going to reduce that width.
You know, that's a pretty nasty intersection right there.
And that's why they're putting in the right in, right out.
Good.
Because, so people don't come off the boulevard and try to turn
hook back
left
to the
there.
left.
They turn left on the service road, then they peel in off the service road. And then they can come back out on the service road, turn left, and go back down Monticello.
Any other questions?
Yes, is the owner planning on getting this work started fairly soon, or do you know?
I do not know. I don't know his timeline.
Tommy, how long do they have after we approve these things to get work started? I mean, or finished, should I say?
Not approving it.
Well,
Whatever.
I'm sorry. Whenever they get the okay to go to do
I think if
whatever.
they pull a building permit, they have like 6 months to commence.
I think that's correct.
Because I remember we
If they-
rezoned this a year or so ago, didn't we? This piece?
When they were zoned to B2,
Yes, we rezoned this property at some point a while back.
you did. I didn't present that, so I couldn't tell you.
Just wanted, I mean, the improvement is welcome.
Right.
Just
I've
wish
seen-
they'd come on with it.
I've seen what's out there, you're right.
Yeah.
It would be much better.
Right.
Any other questions? Are there any questions or comments from the audience? All right, so this is a developmental plan. You've had your public hearing.
Thank you, sir.
Very much. Good luck.
All right.
The next item is presented by Felix Aquuba on behalf requesting to rezone 2 parcels of land on the east side of Mobile Highway, 3523 and 3527 Mobile Highway, from M1 to M3.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Felix Akuba. I made a request to rezone 3523
Your address.
Mobile Highway.
Your address, please.
3520.
No, your address.
Okay, 737 West Fleming Road, Montgomery, Alabama 36105. Okay, I made a request to rezone 3523 Mobile Highway from an M1, which is light industrial, to an M3, which is heavy industrial. In the last meeting, I was advised to discuss with the members of the neighborhood, and I have done that. I've discussed with some members of the neighborhood, and I realized there was a mixed feeling about my request. So, in the interest of those that my request will cause discomfort for, I respectfully withdraw my request. Thank you.
We wish you luck in your business in finding a proper home.
Thank you, sir, and I will respectfully shut down the operations as requested by the city. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is by Mike Hagler on behalf of Shamika Bogan, requesting to rezone a lot on the southwest corner of East 2nd Street and West Street from 01 to 32.
First of all, let me say I'm a little nervous. I've never spoken before a committee before. But what we're trying to do for my client is change the lot from an 01 to 02 for a child care center, which is...
Could you give your name and address, please?
Sir?
Could you give your name and address, please?
My name is Mike Hagler, and it's
Your home address.
2034.
Your home address. Your home address. Your home address.
Oh, my home address is 581 Oak Ridge Drive in Pike Road, Alabama.
Okay.
And I'm trying to change this for her child care center, which will be secured by fencing, and the backyard would be for the parking. And I think it would be an asset to the community over there because it's well needed. And she's fully licensed and lawfully does everything like she should.
Do you have any questions from the board members?
Yes, have you talked to the neighborhood to see how they might like the change?
I heard some pushback in the neighborhood, but my wife ran a catering business out of that place for over 15 years, and we used the back lot for parking, and it never interfered with anybody's business. Even the one across the street that's in the cupcake business, they're right next door to Hands Heating and Air, which is a commercial building, and all around that area are commercial lots and all, and it's a general use facility in the whole neighborhood. So I figured it would be an asset not only to the city and the county, but to the neighborhood, because it would be a tenant in that piece of property, and the more eyes you have there, the better security there is for the whole neighborhood.
Have you talked to Hands about it?
No, sir, I haven't spoken to anyone.
Have you seen the petition that was, have you seen the petition that has been signed with the people in the
I received some letters from some people.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, one of them, the lady worked for my wife there for a short time.
Well, if it's voted on tonight, you realize there's a lot of opposition, and they've sent a lot of letters and a lot of petition has been signed. I agree with you that more eyes on the street mean more security for everyone, but every business is different, and a catering business is different than the business that's being proposed for the zoning change. If it's voted on tonight, the decision is made tonight, do you want to have a chance to get with the neighborhood and decide if this is something they would accept or not before it's voted on?
She would like to go ahead and vote on it tonight. I've never had any other pushback from anybody over there, and I just don't see where it hurts anybody.
Yep.
Go ahead.
It's more than one.
Could
It
you
would be
name,
more than
name
one.
and address, please?
My name is Shamika Bogan. My address is 2339 St. Charles Avenue, 36107. It's more than one daycare that's already on that street, which sits across the street on the opposite side. And from my understanding, it's like 3 more daycares in that area.
There's one, you're saying across the street from this?
Yes, it's off of, it's still on the same street, but it's across the street. It's, I want to say second.
Now, when I hear across the street, I think of across the street.
It's, well,
Is it down the street and then across?
down the street, but it's still on the same street.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Bogan, before you make your decision for us to vote on this, you might want to listen to the opposition first, and then maybe let us see where you want to go from there.
Ask her, has she seen any of these oppositions?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the opposition to your request?
Yes, sir.
But I'm saying tonight, they're here, I believe.
One of the ones that I read was saying, I think the lady behind, she was saying it would be like a problem for her garden. I'm planning on putting a privacy fence up, which is already a fence already, but I'll just put a privacy fence, separate my property from hers.
I think one of the concerns also is the traffic on Second. The traffic in front of your place is coming off Second.
Well, for the traffic, they're saying it will affect, but there's no parking in the front. The parking lot, which is in the back.
But would people drop the kids off?
No, they will not drop the kids off in the front. They'll have to park in the parking lot and walk back up to the building.
I think the question would be, how many kids are you planning on having in your daycare?
Fire department approved me for 25.
Ms. Bogan, the thing is we all support business. That's what pays all of us. That's how we all survive. And so and childcare is definitely necessary with 2 working families. But we've got 5 letters here and a petition that's signed by 28 people that are not for it. And I don't think it has anything to do with who you are or what kind of business person that you are. If they feel like the use will be a burden on the neighborhood simply because of the use, not that it's an office or not that it's, it's just the use and the number of people coming back and forth. When we see something with this much opposition, we typically recommend that you go and try to satisfy the people that are opposing it so that if we consider a rezoning, which we don't like to do because it's called spot zoning, if we even consider it, that at least the neighborhood supports it.
Okay, when you're saying 25 people, are you saying directly on that street or throughout the whole entire neighborhood?
A lot of them are on the street, but a lot of them are throughout the neighborhood. All West Street, West Street, West Street, West Street, Second Street, Second Street, Second Street, Second Street, Second Street. I mean,
I sent them what I had when I sent them a reminder letter, but they didn't get the petition because it came later. So it's included in that. You have some of it.
Let's let the folks
Okay,
talk.
in
Back to the microphone.
In the meantime, members of the audience, do you come forward, please? State your name and address.
Hey, good evening. I'm Rebecca Campbell. I'm here on behalf of Haynes Heating and Air and the Everest Group, located at 2015 and 2025 East 2nd Street. My home address is actually 4481 Springdale in Millbrook, Alabama. I'm coming tonight to oppose this for safety concerns. And I actually have a history. I was a preschool director myself before moving to Haynes Heating and Air. So I do know that safety is a huge priority for the kids. I think a daycare is great. I don't think this is the place for it. On a daily basis, we have 16 work trucks. That's just work trucks. That doesn't include personal vehicles going in and out on a regular basis. We have delivery trucks coming through 3 or 4 times a day. And then twice a month, we have meetings with people from across the nation that are coming in, and that's anywhere from 50 to 70 people for 2-day meetings, and that usually happens about twice a month. So the traffic is a major concern, like you say, dropping kids off. If a kid gets away from mom and dad, the amount of traffic coming through there is pretty substantial. But also just the safety concern of the area itself. We have actually had to put up a privacy fence around our building as well, with a keypad lock, as well as hire a security company to come in and be there with us just because of some of the things that have happened in the neighborhood. So I just come on behalf to say I think a daycare is great. I don't think that this is a safe place for it.
So I got a couple of questions for you, ma'am. If you don't mind. You said you got the other lady from Millbrook.
You.
I'm a little confused about the safety part. Are you saying that by them bringing the daycare in, that'll be even more unsafe?
I don't think it's going to be safe for the kids at all. Like I said, we've got the safety concerns. For us to feel safe working where we're working, we've had to put up a privacy fence as well as bring in security.
But she said she was putting up a privacy fence.
No, I understand that. I'm just talking about the neighborhood itself.
Well, you're saying it's a bad neighborhood.
Well, I'm saying that we've had some instances where it's definitely not been safe.
But I'm sure Mr. Hands has got brakes on his trucks, though. So if they saw a kid, they could hit brakes, right?
And no doubt. I mean, we definitely got brakes on the truck, but I'm just saying the amount of traffic coming through and out. I know I've got a little one. I've got a 6-year-old, and I know that no matter how many times I hold his hand, occasionally he's going to slip out of my hand. And just the thoughts that go through my mind, I wouldn't feel safe putting my child there, and I just don't think that it's a good place for it.
So what would you think would be a good use for that property?
I don't know what the answer for that is. I know that, across the street we have the spa and the yoga thing that seems to go well. I know that we've got the catering business that does a really good job. But that's, minimal people that are, adults. I mean, that's not kids involved, and that's what concerns me is the safety of the kids.
Thank you.
The whole front will be fenced. The children would not be able to get out in the street. There's no way for those children to get in a street from that property because it will be fenced all the way across the front and around the side. And there's a brick wall down the side, and then the other fence would be in the back. Those children would never be exposed to any traffic.
My question is, what's the difference of me putting a daycare right here than the other 3 or 4 daycares in the same neighborhood with more children? I went to the other daycares, they're licensed for way more kids than I am. So what's the difference with the safety issue with me being right here on this property and then the other 3 or 4 daycares in that area, the same area, plus the school?
I'd like to know where these daycares are specifically as it relates to where your property is. If somebody could help us with that.
It's one on.
I mean, if you could point to a map, or can we put a map up there to show where these daycares are that you're referring to?
There's one on East 3rd Street.
It's more than one on East, within that neighborhood. It's one on,
let me ask the question a different way. You see the big red rectangle? Mm-hmm. Where is it in relationship to that red rectangle?
On the red rectangle, I want to say it's a church on the next street, behind where the ladies complain about the garden. It's a big church on that street. And then on the same street, on 2nd Street, across the street, is another daycare. And then closer to, within that area is about 3 more daycares on that street. So I don't know what the difference is with the safety concern.
That may be why we're trying to encourage you to talk to some of the people that are having the problem with it, because they're really launching an effort to stop it, and we don't know why they believe 3 are okay and 4 is not. We don't know. But
I don't know who these people are, and I really don't have the time to go to their houses individually, because Right now, I'm a licensed home daycare, and I work from sun up to sundown. And this is one of the reasons I'm trying to get it out of my house, to eliminate from having to run 2 shifts just to make ends meet.
And I don't really know any other people over there other than Hans, and he used to buy cars from us at Jack Ingram when I worked there. And I don't know why he would have a complaint about it, because it's commercial all around it.
I assume you'll have a playground for the kids?
Yes.
Where
it's
will it
right,
be located on the lot?
It's right behind the house. It's already fenced in. I just need to add additional.
Well, you said that was going to be parking.
No, it's behind the house is the area where they can play, and then it's a garage, and then behind that is the parking lot.
You have 2 separate areas in the back. You got a parking garage
Yes, sir.
and a parking spot in front of it.
Yes.
And then on the other side of the garage, you got a
Playground. It will be the playground.
a grassy area that fenced in for a playground.
Yes, sir.
So it's 2 separate areas.
Yes.
And a pear tree for the kids.
Is there any other comments from the audience? Is there any other comments from the audience? Okay, this is, I mean, if you want the vote, we'll go ahead and get the vote. But do you want to go back and have a hearing with the people in the neighborhood and kind of iron their concerns out?
But see, I don't know who the people are, and like I
Well,
said,
you
You got the list?
Well, you got the petition.
You got everybody's name and address now.
Yeah.
And you have, I think, 5 letter writers, and somebody in that group thought it was important enough to not have it here to get the 28 people to sign a petition as to why they don't want, or no, there's 31, I'm sorry. They don't want a daycare there. That's a lot of people in a neighborhood to say we don't want something. And so that, without any other information that we have, it's not that we understand about hard work, and we certainly respect what you're doing and how you're trying to go about your business. But somebody is leading this charge to get these signed for some reason. We don't know why.
And my thing is, how do I know that these people sign these? Anybody can sign this
Contact
letter.
them. Contact them.
They don't even have a phone number on
They
here.
got an address.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Hagler, obviously you own the property, is that correct?
Yes, sir, I own the property. I've owned it for, good Lord, 15, almost 20 years. I think it's been that
I think
long.
what this board is really trying to tell you, since you own the property, is that there's a significant amount of opposition to your request to rezone this property. And we're actually trying to beg you to consider talking to the people in the area to maybe reach some sort of compromise. We're prepared to vote tonight, but I can tell you, I don't think it's going to go your way tonight without having some kind of discussion with the neighborhood. But of course, as the chairman said, we're prepared to go, but I think we're almost on our knees begging you to go back to that neighborhood. But if you decide to move forward, that's totally your decision.
Sir, I don't know any of these people over there, and I've just gotten my wife out of the hospital today since January, and, you know, it is what it is, and if she wants to go ahead and proceed with the vote, I'll just have to live with my decision, but I do know that it would be an asset, and if there are already child care centers over there, I don't understand any of these people because I don't know them.
Mr. Hagler, it'll be a month before we meet again, and she got a month to try to meet up with the people that are on this list and try to talk with them, compromise, make some type of compromise with them as to what she's trying to do.
I'll try my best to get out.
Yeah, I guess if that's what she wants to do, we'll try that. But like I say,
No, it's not what we want to do.
I
It's
don't know
what
how to go to knock on people's doors.
And that'll be my safety concern, showing up at other people's door, because I don't do that. Go to people's houses and knocking on doors and stuff. But if y'all not gonna vote on
No.
it,
Wait a minute.
I'll just try.
Let's be clear. No,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Let's be clear.
That was the wrong thing.
We'll vote on it. We have no problem with voting on it. All we want you to do, we're asking you, do you want to hold back and come back next month and talk to these people? Now, if you want to vote, we'll vote.
I just hold off and come back within a month.
Try to contact the few people who wrote the letters. You've heard from only one person, and that's a safety concern for the kids, just for the industrial type or the activity that's going on right across the street.
And you can always write a letter to those people.
That's what I would
You
suggest.
don't necessarily have to go to their door. You can write a letter and provide a contact number for you so that they can reach out to you.
And this panel is typically against spot zoning changes like this anyway. So the deck is stacked against you unless everybody really wants it to see happen. And we know it's an eclectic area with lots of different uses, and we certainly understand that. We just don't understand why is there so much opposition to this one thing. We don't understand.
Yeah, I understand.
And if you were one of these neighbors that had petitioned not to have it done, we would be listening to you as well. And so we just would like for the parties to get together and come to some understanding and then come back. But we'll vote on it if you want.
I'll just come back within a month. Just go see, can I talk to them?
And there might be some people here, and I would suggest reaching out to them.
Okay.
And you know what, ma'am, I'm gonna just tell you straight. With the amount of opposition you have, you might want to look at another spot.
This
That
is
complies.
like my second time
That
coming
complies.
up here.
I'll just tell you that because if you don't get the success you need in these upcoming 30 days, coming back in a month may not change the outcome, so have an option plan B.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Is there anything else, Mr. Tyson? All right, meeting adjourned.